welcome back to another video of the F1 2021 Driver Career Mode with Mercedes, episode number 38 today for the Canadian Grand Prix of Season 3, round number 6. If you missed the previous episode at Baku, I recommend go and check that out, uploaded yesterday, and of course subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more F1 2021 Driver Career Mode videos as and when they come out. I would like to say a huge thank you. Once again, you might have seen a community post earlier, but basically we've now made it to 600 subscribers, so a huge thank you from me. Next target is 750 really, as well. But anyway, looking at some progress in some in R&D, excuse me, and we're going to put an ultimate front downforce upgrade on. I thought that, oh my goodness, it's going to be raining at the end of the race. That's just fantastic. I'm saving points for an ultimate weight reduction upgrade, but I'll talk about that later. Weight reduction upgrade. But yes, it seems though that in this little email attachment, Red Bull is ahead of us by about 1,000th of a pixel there. For nobody really bringing in any upgrades other than Alpine jumping AlphaTauri, excuse me. As well, Aston Martin, AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo have not bought an upgrade at all this entire season. AlphaTauri though are doing okay though. Gasly is looking very good and is able to challenge with the Williams, I feel, as well. So he's been playing about with the Williams for those last few spots as well. But for us, this is a track I know I can do well at. I've just got to put my thoughts aside and get my head down and do well at the track. Terms though, unfortunately, we're getting to that stage where I think we've done okay for parts, but I'm going to put a new turbocharger, new ICE in for this race just because they've gone over 50%. I will reutilise those for practice, but I want to have a bit more power in the race and try not to take any penalties. For that will be something if I manage to get for a whole season. We only have 10 rounds to go, so we should be able to try and get through as much as we can through a whole season without taking an extra round of engine parts. But to qualify then, Canada is a track that I previously got pole at once upon a time, 1,085 years ago. It's not looking good. We're down in P8 as usual. I'm not sure what happened to Sainz and Leclerc. The Ferrari not looking that great, to be honest. Of the top 4 cars, they are the slowest, and they need to. I imagine they probably got a few upgrades. For us though, it's not a great lap. We're 2.5 tenths up. You notice I'm setting it early in this session. That's because rain came later in the day. We've qualified ahead of Sainz, up in P7. Sainz had a mare, 7 tenths off Verstappen though. Not great, to be honest. Norris is on the front row. We're going to have to hope that he has a good time. But yeah, there was nothing doing at the end because obviously there was some rain. Nobody actually came out in the end for a second run, so we've got a little bit of work to do if we want a good result, but I think we can get it, considering the fact we won from 9th in the previous Grand Prix. It's time for the race.
Hello and welcome to the Ile Notre Dame once again for what promises to be another incredible Canadian Grand Prix at a fiercely competitive circuit, where pole position can often be decided by less than 1/10 of a second. We'll be seeing top speeds of around 210 miles an hour here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, with around 2/3 of the lap taken at full throttle. High-speed chicanes spell potential danger, especially at the infamous Wall of Champions, and watch out for overtaking into the hairpin and the final chicane. Now, Anthony Davidson, I wonder, might we be in for some early pit stops today from the midfield teams, all trying to put some pressure on or disrupting things for the leaders up front?
If you're in the middle of the pack, you got your own race to run. I don't think they're going to be thinking about causing trouble up front. However, closer to the head of the pack, don't be surprised to see some split strategies. If you're running second and third, for example, bringing one car in for an undercut while leaving the other one out there longer can put a lot of pressure on the leader and maybe force them into an error.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, edging out Lando Norris, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Stroll, Hamilton, Daniel Ricciardo and Leclerc. A Mercedes, Sainz, Gasly and Antonio Giovinazzi. Russell, Fernando Alonso, Yuki Tsunoda and Vettel. Ocon, Perez, Mick Schumacher and Nicholas Latifi. Joe and Nikita Mazepin. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Same old stupid message from there, Jeff. Of course, we're going to try and score points. Race strategy is going to be a one-stop from soft to medium, so yes, despite the fact there's a threat of rain, I don't think it will come in time. But 5 red lights then for the Canadian Grand Prix. 5 red lights are out and are underway, and it's a good way. It's a poor start actually. Gasly's going to have a go around the inside, and the AlphaTauri going to dive down the inside of Leclerc though and try and rotate. And there's contact between the Red Bulls there. Might have been a bit of contact between them and the McLaren of Daniel Ricciardo up in P2. There's a replay though with the Red Bulls, and oh, there is contact between the front side of Stroll and against the side of Verstappen. So well, Christian Horner will not be happy that his drivers have had an accident there, a collision, and Ricciardo is actually going to get in front of Verstappen. So already it's not looking great for the Austrian team. Verstappen and Stroll should be dominating the race down to second, third and fourth. Hamilton has to go around the inside of me. I'm going to go around the outside, try and get Stroll. Can't get Stroll. I've got down at the hairpin. We are going to look to get him through a straight line. Remember, we are the fastest straight line. I cannot wait until we get to a track like Monza, where we should have very good speed down the inside, and actually Stroll pits because of that damage as well. So here's the race leader then. Lando Norris leads after that good start, avoiding the two Red Bulls colliding. This is good for us, because even if we can't, because at the moment on that two, Verstappen's pulling up and the two McLarens are pulling away. So at the moment, there's contact collision there between Hamilton. Did Hamilton run into the back of this, I wonder? Is this the third? Is this not the first time we've made contact? It is. Hamilton runs into the back. Lucky not to get a puncture from that collision there. But as I was saying, before, as we watch Gasly, who's doing a stellar job in front of the two Williams, having Verstappen up in P3, myself in P4, isn't too bad if we don't have the pace to make the overtake as well. We are going to come into the pits at the end of lap number 7 for a set of mediums. Sainz will continue on, but we are going to undercut him. I don't think we can undercut Verstappen. He's coming at the same. Actually, we aren't able to undercut Verstappen because he's coming at the same lap as us, unfortunately. So. Yes, nevertheless, where we're going to filter out, hopefully we get a bit of free air, but there's just a couple of Alfa Romeos and a Haas car. We're going to filter in front ahead of Latifi in the Alfa Romeo car there. Gasly has lost out, not Gasly, excuse me, Leclerc has lost out, as has Hamilton in the traffic. You can see Hamilton's a little bit way down actually, and we're going to try and breeze past Mick Schumacher. Just get a little bit of squeeze to the right hand side, but eventually decides to let me go through. He knows that he hasn't really got the pace. Next up, Sebastian Vettel, our former teammate. We're going to breeze past him on his medium. He's been on those since the start of the race. Him and Alonso once again doing the alternative strategy there. But up to the line then, and we set a fastest lap of 1:08.6 with the help of some DRS. But unfortunately, jumped to lap 18, we're starting to struggle. It's starting to rain, and really we don't have any pace to catch Verstappen. Verstappen's just walked off. So it's going to be damage limitation, unfortunately, in the end. And jumping to lap 18 is getting worse, because it's actually looking like it is actually time for intermediates, but nobody is pitting for inters. You can see the fact that we've been struggling the last couple of laps. Verstappen has doubled his lead as we've gone wide, and now we're going at 1 mile an hour. Sight is all over the back of us, looking to steal 4th place from us, unfortunately. Stroll has lost out there. I don't know what happened to Stroll. This is the last lap. Again, can't get the car stopped turning in. It was terrible there. Sainz, I don't know if we collided with him. We might have given him front wing damage because he's dropped out by now 8/10 now. Through this corner, slow off circuit. Can't make it there. That's correction. Sawing away at the steering wheel, but Sainz is able to close up now. But then Stroll, sort of that. There's yellow flags behind us. We'll get a replay of that when we go to before we go to the race results. But Sainz has had a slow thing on. He might have got damage from that. Lando Norris wins the race, which is good news for us. So we are going to lose points, but looks like we're going to survive this late rain, struggling for absolutely no pace whatsoever. We've gone wide through the final corner. Sainz is nowhere near us, and we're going to comfortably hum home for P4 in the end. Well, we made it. We survived those final laps. It was tough. I'm not going to lie. As well, we get driver of the day, even though we only made up three positions. Here's what happened to it was Gasly with the yellow flag behind us. He had a Spinala, and it was such a shame for BA because he was beating both the Williams as well. But in the end, that touching them all doesn't help him. So Lando Norris, McLaren 1-2, they are definitely looking to come back and fight Verstappen and myself. We'll all lose 3 points to Verstappen. We'll get a look at that in a moment. As well, Stroll having the bad luck of his home Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton unable to recover, only 8th in the end, ahead of the two Williams as well. Sonoda there, Gasly only 14th after his Spinala as well. So in terms of the Drivers' Championship, we have a 5-point lead now, but the McLarens now are looking to close in. We've got some tracks that might suit their car coming up. Austria is next, that might suit their car as well. Maybe not so much Britain and Hungary, so that might be an issue where I'm not strong. So we'll look at that shortly. We're 4 points back though in the Constructors' Championship, 8 points for McLaren, so they've really closed
Great work
up.
out there today. Let's have your thoughts. There's quite a buzz around this team at the moment. What are your thoughts on them?
I don't think there is a buzz about them. Alfa Romeo, they're stuck at the back.
The weather was miserable today, but do you feel this was an advantage for
It's
you?
never an advantage for me because I'm the player, and the game always penalises the player in wet weather.
Thank you for your time.
So there we go. That is going to be it for this week's Karimo videos. Apologies that the race wasn't, a lot of the race didn't really happen, unfortunately. But nice for a couple more laps of rain, and we'd have been able to do that. But R&D changed tyres and spruce it up a bit. But in terms of R&D upgrades, ultimate weight reduction has to be the next one. We're third in the R&D chart, level with Ferrari. Unfortunately, we haven't got enough R&D points, so that will have to wait as well. So in terms of the races we've got left, the next couple of races, Austria will be targeting victory there. I was targeting victory here, but I'll take 4th place. Canada is a little bit tougher than Baku and Austria to get victory at. Austria, I'm hoping I can get my first victory there on this year's game after being very dominant there on last year's game. So I did very well there. It doesn't seem to have the same effect this year's game. So hoping that we can turn that around, Austria, and do a lot better. Maybe target a pole position. That would be nice. But yes, that's where I'm going to leave it today's episode. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and you see plenty more F1 2021 Driver Career Mode videos as and when they come out. Until the next video, then, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.